did something? I should go check with the axle that it worked. Hope I'm not interrupting anything with her and the spindle.
So the curves of the metal suggest...
I definitely think an enchanter had a hand in this, as well as someone with intimate knowledge of the loom gates.
Those two people could possibly be one person even. Though I can't fathom who it would be.
Keeping yourselves busy, I see?
It's a conundrum for the ages, that's for sure.
Ah, Bryn. You're back.
You've done amazing work with the resonance modulator. I'm certain this will be a turning point for us.
Thanks. But how do you know it worked?
The loom gate started glowing a strange color before you arrived. I took it as a hint that you'd succeeded.
Spoiled the surprise.
I'm sure the Surgeborn will be plenty surprised when they next try to use the loom gates.
Suffice to say, we're thrilled, Bryn. In a short time, you've done a lot to help us. We were, obviously, a little hesitant to trust newcomers.
Our first impression wasn't the best.
But now, we're in a much better situation when it comes to survival.
Happy to have helped. Without you two trusting me, I couldn't have achieved half as much. So thank you for letting me in. I'm glad to have gotten to know both of you.
It's been my pleasure, Bryn.
Likewise.
So, let's recap for a moment. 1. We've stopped Surgeborn from navigating the Loomgate network by using the resonance modulator. 2. We've made huge leaps forward in regaining control over the Arcs. 3. We've armed and supplied the Scouts.
It certainly doesn't cast our last decade of work in a forgiving light, does it?
Listen, you've been surviving this crisis for a long time the only way you knew how. But now you have a path to move forward. Your people can choose to follow it, or dwell on past mistakes. Are we ready to face this threat head-on together?
Yes. You're right. Of course you are. We're at the point, resource-wise, where we can start making moves.
I don't really want to speak to my father right now. But I agree that it's time we put pressure on him to do something. Anything. Regardless of what he does. You've earned our support, Bryn. But first, I'd actually like to steal Hirun for a while, if you don't mind. I have some notes to go over with her.
By all means. Have fun.
I suppose I'll just get right to it. Why do you treat me differently?
What do you mean?
Everyone else gets the stern you, the you who's in charge, the Axel. But I get the friendly face, the compliance, this you who I don't understand. Is it because of my dad? Because everyone answers to him? Are you trying to get close to him through me? I can't handle it, Hirun. I need to know that I'm not just being manipulated by everyone around me.
It's not because of that.
Then... what is it?
I spend time around you because I want to. To see you, to speak with you, to work alongside you, to see the look in your eyes when you solve a problem. Skies, I shouldn't... None of this is... If we could find somewhere else, beyond the gaze of the hold...
Hirun. Stop. Take my hand. And we'll go. I have a place in mind. I didn't see it before, but I think... I would like to tell you of the ways in which you are important to me, too. Oh, Bryn. You were right about the requisitions.
Obviously.
Let me guess. You've come to ask me to apologize to your naive lawkeeper.
No.
No? Isn't that what self-proclaimed heroes do? Demand justice for your friends?
I would never ask Lane to waste their energy on a conversation with you again. Do I think how you spoke to them was a disgusting, brutish display? Absolutely. But justice doesn't come with an apology from you, does it?
They attacked my legacy. I merely put them in their place.
Exactly. Without remorse, an apology would just be posturing. No. Justice is served in the way Lane still chooses kindness every day, despite people like you trying to tear them down.
Their research tore me.
Justice is served in the way Lane gets to continue living as their wonderful, talented self. Whereas you have to keep living as yourself. As someone who is clearly in so much pain over his own existence, he needs to make other people feel small, so he can look big.
By the flames. Save your idealistic speeches for someone who cares.
So we agree. There is no need for you to ever speak to or about Lane again.
Our preferences align, then. Congratulations on successfully recalibrating the loom gates. It's an impressive achievement, considering your thimble broke the harness and prevented us from resetting the loom gate connections. Helping with this initiative was the least you could do for us.
It's amazing what happens when we pool our resources.
Normally, I would impose sanctions on the Axle for inviting an outsider to access the harness. A rather grave breach of protocol, if I'm being honest. But thankfully for her, this aligns with our upcoming security efforts.
And what efforts would those be?
Confidential, I'm afraid.
What's going on?
Arik, why don't you fill her in?
Our plan worked. The Eye is mobilizing the scouts for a large-scale attack on the Surgeborn.
I take it the Axle and the Spindle put him up to this?
Yes. Not that Khan Stannard is admitting that. He claims that with the supply shortage taken care of and the Ark restoration underway, now is the time to strike.
And Bryn is receiving due credit for all her work, I'm sure.
No.
So what's his plan?
The scouts will stage a distraction in the underworks, while the Eye and the Spindle do something to the Grand Gate. That's all I know. The Eye wants everyone to convene at Cassidan's Hold for a speech to learn more.
He wants us there.
Khan Stannard loves an audience. Doesn't matter who's in it.
I thought you'd be happier about all this.
I have reservations about the Eye launching a plan using my scouts without consulting me.
The reality is, the leader of the Enclave has the power and influence we need to take a stand against the Surgeborn, regardless of how likable the man holding the title may be.
Power and influence, sure, but not the expertise.
We faced down Surgeborn and monsters, repaired lost innovations, and even won over the grumpiest of guild leaders. We're ready for anything, no matter what happens.
It can't hurt to hear his big speech before jumping to conclusions.
I'm here to escort you. Talk to me when you're ready.
It sounds like your experiment with the loom gates went well.
With the axle and the spindle? Yeah, it turned out better than we could have hoped.
That's good news.
Are you worried about something?
Worried? No. Holding the infinite weave of possibilities in my mind. Yes. Do you think the resonance modulator could be used to keep certain kinds of people out of the Loomgate network too?
I'm really not sure. What makes you think about that?
I believe that the Eye would lock us out if he could. He loathes us. He loathes me. If he has the means to hinder us, he'll use them. And we've just handed those means to his daughter.
Well, you haven't had a chance to talk to Isla yet. She definitely wouldn't let that happen. At the very least, she'd give us a heads up. Why don't you talk to her sometime? I think you'd get along.
I suppose I should, yes. After my next round of experiments, perhaps. Speaking of, I should really get back to it. I'm glad to hear that all is not doomed, too. Thanks.
Not a problem.
You've stirred up quite a bit of trouble.
Oh?
I've just read the brief from the last council meeting. The Eye is facing united opposition. Everyone's calling for him to make a move against the Surgeborn. Keep your weapons close, Bryn. Ready to head to Cassidon's Hold?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. Hey, while it's just the two of us, I'll be deploying to the Underworks almost immediately after we arrive. Watch Khan Stanold for me, will you? I know Oriel wants you to give him a chance, but he can't be trusted.
I'm always ready for anything, Eric.
I know. Let's move.
Decades of caution have been rewarded, friends. For this moment, and not one sooner, is the precise time to strike. Today, we wrangle our lands free from the Surgeborn's grasp and reclaim our hearth once more, whatever it takes. None of this could be possible without the esteemed prowess of the Spindle. Her work on the Arks has laid the foundation for my plan. She and I will proceed to the Grand Gate at once. Scouts, you have your orders. It's time. Whatever it takes.
Bryn, you need to come with me.
Now?
Yeah, no time to explain. And Aurea, you should get on the scry.
All right. Whatever you need.
Let's go. Sev, I know you said there's no time to explain, but want to give me a clue as to where we're going?
So, obviously I've been working with the Eye. And well, he had me repair the Grand Gate. It's connected to this place called the Source, and I guess that's where the Surgeborn came from. He's got this plan to go there and solve this problem once and for all.
Right. I heard that part of his speech already. What does this have to do with us sprinting like an Ash-Peak Drake is on our heels?
So there's, it's better if I just show you.
Perfect. As punctual as you are daring.
Sev, what's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, don't blame him. He's merely a puppet. Ironic, given I'm the one all tangled up.
So you can talk?
Of course. Only language could allow me to prey upon Kenrick's exquisite inadequacies.
You've been talking to the Eye? Manipulating him?
into a foolhardy and preposterous plan that only an absolute imbecile could think was worth pursuing, yes. I've been down here for years, laying groundwork and learning what I could about your people. All towards a moment when I could convince Kenrick to act. I almost despaired he ever would. And then, along comes you.
Me?
Oh yes. Kenrick is threatened by you. Terrified even. In your brief time inside the Veil, you've accomplished so much more than he has in decades. Not that that's saying much. Still, you are the perfect catalyst for change. We have that in common, as you will discover in time. So now, he's going to open a gate to the heart of the Enclave, convinced he can recover it from us. And the one person I worry might be able to stop us is here, talking to me. You're fast, but even you can't run to the rescue now.
You've thought of everything. Except, why tell me all this?
Because you're too late to stop us. And even if you weren't, no one would believe you.
Sure. Unless they were listening.
Quit taunting it, Bryn. You've got work to do.
Tyler, we must retreat!
No! I'm staying to fix this. Do whatever you can to buy me time. The spindle told her to buy time. It doesn't take too long.
For much longer.
Okay?
She can't be. No.
What? What's she doing to the other?
Hopefully not what I think she is.
Spirits. Okay. Weavers have always dealt with problems like this. Well, not just like this, but yeah. We'll figure it out. Aurea. She'll know what to do. Hey, Eric. I'm so sorry for your loss. How are you holding up after everything?
Thank you, but I don't think you want the real answer to that question.
I really do. You look like a pot about to boil over, and your people need you focused. So let me have it.
I knew Kenrick Stanold was incompetent, but this... I didn't think he was capable of this. He deploys my entire team, spreads us thin on no information. A plan that requires utmost secrecy, he called it. Swearing we would be given what we needed to know when the time was right. And then? Nothing. A big speech, empty promises of victory, and the dawning realization among my team that we were a distraction. Meaningless forces to draw the Surgeborn's attention. And at that, we succeeded. While Kenrick, goddamn Stanold, ran for his life, they descended on my people like vultures swarming a corpse. Good people died because of that man. Good people will carry scars because of that man. It should have been him.
Bryn, I cannot fathom how you must have felt in that fight against the Surgeborn.
As strange as it is to say, I had the easy part.
Yes. The tragedy about Isla. So much talent lost. Wasted, even. I can't stop rolling what you said before we went to Cassidon's around in my head.
About how we were ready for anything. Kind of ironic now.
Yes. Quite. Though I cannot fathom who would have been ready for that. But your point was well made. We have overcome so much in this place, where others might have rolled over and given up. In moments of despair, the deep night, when most of you are asleep and the world comes alive, I keep thinking about it. We're ready for anything. You know, I believe we are.
The bar I'd set for my expectations of him was low. Subterranean. You would have to plumb tremendous depths to even glimpse it. And yet, I never would have expected him to stoop quite so low as he did at the Grand Gate. Hey, Lane. How are you holding up? I'm fine. Just coming down from the stress of all this. I was a bit worried about you, I'll admit. Are you all right? Thanks for the concern. A little sore today, but no lasting injuries. Good. Good. Are you sure you're fine? Yes. Just ruminating on the numerous disastrous failures that led to this. Not by us, but... We'd all love to protect the future. But smart as you are, even you can't do that. Isla would still be here if I could. I know. She saved us all. Scholars rarely agree on much. But if there's one philosophy many of us share, it's that we must understand our past to build better futures. Maybe I couldn't have prevented this tragedy, but I can't help but mine the past for clues of what was to come. If only to stop it from ever happening again.
I know you're not one to shy away from a fight, but you should have known better than to go toe-to-toe with that thing.
Casmin, I'm all right.
That's not the point, Bryn. I was really scared.
I know.
I know I should be better about this, but I can't lose you. Not after we finally...
I'm not going anywhere. I promise.
Good. Dom would be beside himself if something happened to you.
Uh-huh. I don't know what I'd do without Dom, either.
You're staring. What's got you in such a good mood?
What? I can't admire my gorgeous girlfriend?
You can. But none of this showing up here just to look at me with love in your eyes. That's too mushy. Especially in front of Aurea. At least come up with something clever to talk about.
Sure. I can find something to talk about. Ah! What made you fall head over heels for me?
Subtle. I guess I believe that the best thing you can do with your life is be in service of others. And that's what you embody. As a friend, as a point, as a leader. Yet, somehow you do it without burning out or putting others above yourself in an unhealthy way. That's very attractive.
That's what draws me to you. How caring you are. And more importantly, how you're learning to turn that care in towards yourself.
I'm trying, at least. I like that you noticed.
Are you worried that Aurea won't approve of us?
No, she thinks it's... cute.
Then why are you worried about her seeing us be cute?
It's not just her. It's everyone. You make me so happy. And I guess I'm afraid that if everyone sees how happy I am around you, then... they'll know how devastated I'll be if it doesn't work out. This is still really new. Is it bad if I need to take things slow before I can parade our cuteness around the camp?
Of course not. But just so you know, you make me incredibly happy too. If I have my way, this will totally work out.
That's reassuring.
So, if being mushy around the caravan isn't ideal, tell me what you'd like to do when we have some downtime.
I'd love to. It's dumb.
Now you have to tell me.
Stargazing. When I worked the shipping lanes, I learned a lot about navigation by the stars. Maybe it'd be fun to... I don't know.
Kaz, nothing would make me happier than a date by starlight with you.
Oh, I think it would be so peaceful.
Tell me about yourself then. What's the happiest memory from your childhood?
It rained a lot in Dunbrennig, so we didn't do this often. But on the rare sunny days, my mum took me to the beach. We'd both bring books and blankets to spend the day reading on the hot sandy coastline.
That sounds lovely.
It was.
Unfortunately, your adorable face has left me speechless.
Oh gods. I'll meet you in your tent later. You can stare all you like then.
Looking forward to it.
Hey.
Hey.
How do you feel?
Okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me. For that matter, I might not either.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. How could it not? And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you don't need a speech. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
Not many points get to be the first one to fight something new, and fewer live to tell the tale. Isn't that how it goes?
A cautionary tale for most. A point of pride for those few. It's true. Look, I know you, Bryn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary, and it'll slide off soon.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less true.
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast. But where to start?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you to call the meeting.
Me?
Yes. You.
Do you know what's amazing?
Tell me.
Digging into the past and salvaging relics that change your understanding of everything we do. Maybe this is old hat for you, because you've been free to do it for so long.
I haven't been doing it that long, but I can't imagine it will ever get old.
Well, good. So, our relics of the day are those scries we recovered, which work very much like yours, which demolishes my original bet on ours having been affected by this surge somehow. My best guess now is that they're working so well because they were packed up so tight. I floated the idea with Dharm and he was pretty into it. Want to join me in following up?
Oh, don't need me to do the asking this time?
No. I'm getting the hang of this.
It's good you're here, Bryn. We have a mystery to solve.
A scrinundrum. Ah, no, that doesn't work.
Scriddle?
Ah, damn it. That's so much better.
Oh, you two are fun. To business, though, what we need to really work on the scries is a new set of the tools I use to maintain ours.
Do you not have them?
Lost in our mad dash through the Veil. I hadn't felt the urgent need to replace them just yet, but if we're to compare and contrast our three classes of scry, we'll need them.
Could we not borrow some from Arek's people?
I tried. I would consider their tools insufficient to our needs.
He's saying they're bad.
I'm saying they're bad, but politely.
What exactly do these tools involve?
They are so very fiddly. Small optics for examining the casing, tiny enchanted ones to target the patterns that form the images and keep the sound clear. That sort of thing. Like tuning an instrument?
We haven't needed these tools until now?
Like most Enclave enchantments, the scries are incredibly durable. I normally maintain ours every few months. We had more pressing matters at hand, until this mystery reared its head.
This is usually the part where I find myself wrestling a giant lizard or something. So you might as well just tell me now.
Bryn, you never fail to cut to the heart of the matter, but I have good tidings. We need you to pick a flower.
A flower? That's it?
Not quite. It's from a plant renowned for its magical sensitivity called Mirian's Bloom.
And the tricky part, Dharm was telling me, is that it can't be moved via any kind of teleportation. No loom gates and such.
Indeed, and complicating matters, it withers very quickly once picked. Lane and I can stabilize it, but we'll need our workstations here to do so, which means...
I'm going to have to run.
Pretty much. Sorry about that.
I'll just stretch extra. Do we know where I can find some?
Yes, in the swamp not too far from here, on the other side of the hollow.
Sounds like a plan.